Hello, friends. So good to have you join me on this edition of Ace with Okwi. My name is Okwi, the Wealth Maestro, and I'm glad to have you here in this concluding part of this truth series we've been running titled Red Flags in Our Relationships. And today we'll be looking at red flags or growing pains. What's the difference between red flags and growing pains? Now, this will show you when to stay, when to grow, and when to walk away, right? Now, it reminds me of something that I had from one of the persons that I've actually coached and spoken to. He was telling me about his relationship of 2 years. He's been in a relationship for 2 years and he has invested a whole lot in the relationship. Time, emotion, resources, and all that it can take to make the relationship work. But there was something that was bothering him. It was the fact that this lady he's in a relationship with has some patterns of attitude that are not really very palatable, things that he doesn't really like and he wasn't very down with. So he met me and he began to ask me. The first question he asked was, what is the difference between a red flag and pure emotional immaturity? And then he also asked me, seeing all that he has explained to me, do I think that he would have a happy home and a happy marriage if he finally settled down with this person? Now, I'm going to answer these two questions right now. The very first question he asked was, how would he know the difference between emotional immaturity and red flags? Now, there are 3 distinct things that you should look out for to know if what you're having in your relationship is just immaturity that you need to grow out of, or is a red flag. Now, before I get to those 3 things, let me quickly mention that red flags are things that you avoid entirely. You let go. You leave it alone. Except the person is willing to begin to make a change. And if the person is willing to make a change, you don't begin to invest your forever in it until you see appreciable change in the life of the person. That's the only time you will begin to decide to settle down with the person, right? But there are some emotional immaturities that exist here and there. They repeat themselves as if they are red flags, but with time and growth, you will see that that person would outgrow such things. So how do you know the difference between red flags and emotional immaturity? The very first thing you need to look out for is the person's response when the person is spoken to about that particular thing. So this person is acting in a particular way. When you bring it up to the person, how does the person respond? Does the person respond with remorse? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I can't even believe I did this again. Or does the person respond with reaction, trying to explain to you why this is him and how he needs to be himself and all that? Does the person feel concerned that you are hurt by that thing that he or she has done? Or does the person feel attacked when you bring it up? That tells you if it is just a mere immaturity or a red flag that you need to deal with. The second thing that you need to look out for is, over the period of time you've been with him or her, has there been any form of appreciable change? Has there been anything that changed, or has it just remained the same? If you've seen appreciable change, then maybe it is emotional immaturity and not red flag. But if it has just remained the same or even gotten worse, then, my brother, my sister, you're dealing with a red flag and you need to run, right? The third thing is, are there progress? Are you seeing some progress? Are you seeing some genuine efforts by the person trying to become better, or the person remains unchanged and is not even making any form of effort. So when you only see effort in the person is when you threaten, I'm going to leave this relationship if you don't do something about this. The person says, oh, I'm sorry, and behaves as if he's or she's genuinely about to change. Do you understand that? Now, if the person is making efforts at every point, then it's an emotional immaturity that the person will grow out of. A lot of persons are locked down in relationships that they need to run away from because of the red flags in them. And some other persons have run away from relationships that they should have just waited and grown past. So, in answering the second question that this person asked, that would also help you to know the difference between emotional immaturity and red flags. In answering the question, immaturity says, I didn't know, I am learning, help me do better. While character issue or red flags will tell you, that's how I am, you are too insensitive. If you can't handle it, then it's your problem. Emotional immaturity is an unfinished product that is still within process, while character flaw or a red flag is an unwilling project. The person is not willing to make a change at all. And can I tell you something? Love can work with unfinished products to make it better. But love cannot work with unwilling products. So, find out if the person is unfinished or unwilling. Unwillingness breaks down love. But when love sees someone who is unfinished and wants to become better, love would always want to help. Right? So to answer the second question, there are three things that you would also look out for. The very first one is there visible growth? Not promises, but progress. Remember that love is not asking you for perfection. No. All you need in love is to see progress. That's all that is required. So, if there is progress, then there is hope. But if there is no progress, that it has remained the same all through, then believe me, marriage is not going to change it. It is still going to be the same thing that you will see in marriage. Or, guess what? It will be amplified, because marriage is where the rest is brought out, because the best is brought out in relationships. So you need to see appreciable progress in the relationship. Then the second thing you need to check is, does she take responsibility? Does he take responsibility? Or do you need to force the responsibility? Does the person say, it's my responsibility to make a change. I need to change this and I need to make it happen in record time, not so that the person will get married. Because I'm sure you've noticed that there are certain persons, they begin to force a change or pretend to change simply because they know that if they don't, you're going to walk away. Simply because they know that, my biological clock is running, so I need to pretend that I am going to become a better person so that I will say I do. The moment you say I do, there is a relapse. Right? So, the question you could be asking now is, how do I know that it is not pretense? And how do I know that this person is genuine? It's within you. You will. That's why when you are in relationship, you should not close your eyes to everything happening. You should be able to read in between lines, right? And you should also be able to subject that your relationship under sound counseling, so that another eye from outside will be able to look at it and say, watch out, this is a pattern that has continued. You need to watch out and be sure that a change happens before you walk down the aisle. Number 3 is, are you in the relationship because of hope or clarity? Are you just hoping that there's going to be a change? Or is it clear that there is a progress, that something is happening in this relationship that is bringing change? Hope says he will change, she will change. But clarity says, I see who you are becoming. I appreciate the changes that you're making. So, what you should get married to, or what you should continue in relationship with, is clarity, not hope. Because hope might actually finally fail. Why? Because those efforts the person is making, because he wants to please you, he wants you to be happy, the person will stop making the efforts because they don't have anything to lose. And that's when you begin to hear things like, this is an irreconcilable difference. Yes, that irreconcilable difference was there even from the beginning. The only thing is that you did not pay heed to it, or you got married to hope. I hope she will change. I hope she will make an effort. So here is the hard truth that you need to know. Even if you have lost some years, some investments, and you've seen that this person is not making a change, or is not making any form of progress, brother, sister, it is better you end it now. Will it hurt? Yes, it will. I have to tell you the truth. Why? Because your emotion has been invested in it, so it's going to hurt. But the hurt you face right now is nothing to be compared to the hurt you will face in marriage when nothing is at stake again. And I'm sure you've heard people say things like, a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. So why don't you make hay while the sun shines and do something about it right now? If you choose to stay in that relationship, let it be because growth is happening, because there is accountability in it, and because you are having an increased peace. There are lots of persons, as the days are drawing nearer to the time that they will either need to propose, accept a proposal, or say I do, they are losing their peace some more. So if you are that kind of person, you need to do something about it. Love is not proven by how much you've invested in it. Remember, please. Love is proven by how safe, how sane, how seen you are. 3 of them. You must be safe. You must be sane. You must be seen in love. That's the only time you should invest your forever into it. The goal of every relationship is not just to get married. No, it is to get married and be happy in it. And happiness does not come by you ignoring your red flags. Happiness comes by you understanding them and responding wisely to them. Either to say that this is something that we are working on, it's a work in progress, or to say to yourself, this is a character flaw, I need to run away from it, I need to walk away from it. Though it now is better now than later. I hope you got something from today's episode. In the next episode, we'll be bringing out a brand new topic of discussion. It is actually a story that someone told me, and we're going to be gleaning a lot of lessons from that story, and from there we'll begin to expand on every other thing that has to do with it. Please make sure that you stay with me every Wednesday and Saturday on Facebook Live, because I'll be there to share some more thoughts with you on everything about life, relationship, work, and everything about achieving excellence. Right? Until I come your way again, my name is Okwi, the Wealth Maestro, saying keep glowing, keep growing, and keep achieving clear excellence. No matter what is standing on your way today, if you keep pushing, you will push past it, and the spotlight will come on you. Good night and God bless you.